I like to start by saying Happy Nurses Week. I am biased to the occasion, so Happy Nurses Week to all my fellow nurses out there. This is another episode of T.M.I. Tuesday with Placida in Home Care. And today we're going to talk a little bit about some questions that people have. We've had some emails come through, so thank you guys for sending in the questions because we want to address them with you guys, and maybe other people have the same questions. So we've had some family members for loved ones email in, and some of the questions are, what services are expected from the caregiver? And I would like to answer that simply by saying we write a care plan, and that care plan directs the caregiver to the tasks for the shift. If the caregiver is assigned meal preparations, shower assistance, groceries, errands, those kinds of things, then that will be written in the care plan when we meet with you. And that's all into an app, by the way. So the caregivers use an app on their phone. Everything seems to be very tech-driven these days. So an app on the phone, and the caregiver will read through the care plan ahead of time, and those tasks will be completed on shift. Now, the caregivers are also responsible for documenting what was and was not done. For example, if a shower was not completed because we were too busy running other errands or we had other tasks to finish first, they might say, please alert the next caregiver to complete a shower. The family will know because there is 100% visibility with the caregiver's notes in an email to the family member or to the account owner or the power of attorney, whoever is set up to be notified. The caregiver's notes get sent to that family member, so there is transparency with what happened on the shift. Very good question. Hope I answered that one for you thoroughly. Let's go to the next one. What about background checks? So we do background check our caregivers. They are background checked very thoroughly. So we cross state lines. We make sure that the caregivers in your home are safe and effective at their job. And as a side note, we do drug screen as well. So that is included. And none of that cost is handed to the client. That is all the costs that's all on us because we assume the risk of the caregiver. So background checks and drug screens are completed before they ever come into the home. That's 100% always done. The next question is, how about family members' access to the schedule? So again, that's a really great question because on the app, which can be downloaded for a family member as well, it's called the Honor Family app, that app shows you the schedule. Not only does it show you the schedule, but you have the opportunity to make changes or call in to the phone number listed on the app and request a change in the schedule should there need to be any. For example, a holiday. Maybe there might be family coming into town for the holiday, so you can always cancel the holiday ahead of time, give us 24 hours notice at least, so we can get that canceled for you guys. But there is, again, visibility with the app and emails for the schedule. All right, some of them are, is it the responsibility of the family or the client to cancel or add shifts? That's a really great question. If a shift needs to be added or subtracted from the schedule, the account owner or a family member or a trusted loved one can call in and request the change to be made. And then we will also circle back to the client, assuming that they are appropriate to speak with over the phone, and confirm that change with them as well. And how are staff, this is a good question because of the current pandemic. So how are staff absences handled and how is a substitute caregiver found? That is a really great question. The staff absences are handled by alerting the family or the client, whoever is responsible for that communication. We will alert them to the absence of the caregiver. We'll let them know that the caregiver is being taken off the schedule to ensure that there are no further symptoms that manifest because we want to make sure there's no fever that develops, no cough, no stomach pains, those kinds of things. And we will restaff that shift. Now I will say sometimes it does happen that the caregiver calls off a little close to the shift time. What we do is we can call and adjust that shift time a little bit. So if your shift starts at 9, or that caregiver should be at your home by 9, and the caregiver calls off at 7 o'clock, we're going to do our best to get a caregiver there by 9, but we may ask you if we can adjust the time to 10 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock. So that gives us a little bit more leeway. And of course, if there's a doctor's appointment, we will make sure that we are on that 100% to get that loved one to a doctor's appointment, because sometimes that does happen. Staff absences do happen, and we handle that immediately and promptly. So as soon as that caregiver calls off, we're immediately restaffing. So today's episode is really short because some of these questions are great, but I'd love to dive into these next time as well on another episode of TMI Tuesday. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys later.